Hi there, Divine Masculine. Thank you for joining me here at the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree. This is your bi-weekly Divine Masculine energy reading. I do more of a traditional love reading on the opposite weeks that I do this reading, which usually come out around Friday. So let's see what we have here for you. I have each row kind of separated to denote a different category, and then it sort of breaks it into subcategories here, and I'll explain those as we go along. Ultimately, we're going to look at just the energy of the masculine here, what's going on with it, and if we were to bring it into alignment with the feminine, how to achieve that. So this bottom row is where we will begin, and this is all about the subconscious. You know, to have two cards that come out here that are really echoing one another, I think is quite strong. So this is, for me, definitely talking about direction, purpose, having a vision that you want to head towards. This position in particular is speaking of what is programmed into you that is so deep, it's like at a DNA level from your ancestry. And here I'm getting this idea of really wanting to move towards something, but maybe not having your own being evolved enough to do it, being articulate enough, being agile enough, and able to move through what you need to move through as you get there. So it seems like there are really good intentions here and a strong desire to move towards something, but there may feel like there are things sort of weighing you down and making it very cumbersome, like the process of it. And there may also be a lack of awareness of your whole being. You know, there may be things that are really, really so unconscious that you're not working with all of the capacity that you have. You're not as empowered as you could be. Now, as I look here, which is more of the family programming from early childhood and what's coming through from your environment, I see that there is a more encouraging spirit here, a more joyful spirit, as if you are able to move through things, and that you have learned like you evolved this other part of yourself that serves its purpose. It's like you almost took yourself out of one environment into another and adapted in a way where you didn't become like you were before, but you became something different so that you can traverse through this more ideal environment with more ease. So I do feel like there has been, you know, an ability to gain the assurance that you need, and that you've probably have accomplished quite a bit, and you can look around and be like, yes, I have achieved this. There's definitely a sense of confidence here, and grace, and just sort of being in the energy of getting things as you'd like them. Now I'm going to look here at what you may have repressed because it was shameful to show this, but this is something that could certainly come back out. And I see here this enjoyment of the feminine energy and the playfulness of it, and sort of the dance that it can engage in life. Like, it can be an energy that is fun to watch, that is fun to observe and play. And there is this feeling of you feeling disconnected from it and quizzical, as if you can't even play with it and be part of it. Like, you are meant to observe, and then this sort of performs itself for you. And I see you kind of stunned and overwhelmed by it, like you're impressed by it, but you're kind of like in your own energy about it. You're not engaging with it. So there's something here. It's almost like the male gaze is coming through. And I guess now what's coming through is that it's like this gaze is on one flower. Yeah, there's all these other different expressions and other versions of this entity here, but you're connected to just one of them. So maybe it's a confirmation that it's like, yeah, it's okay to be focused on, you know, the flower that you truly want to be focused on, and you don't need to worry about all of the other ones and being overwhelmed by all of this, you know, energy that you're just supposed to be observing and watching. So, I mean, for our contemporary times, you know, I see that as pretty relevant. You know, I think there's a strong message and, you know, proliferation in the media of having so much imagery available of the feminine expressed, you know, in form, and that, you know, it's like there's a bombardment of it, and just look at it and look at it and look at it and look at it perform itself for you, that I almost feel like there's this like childlike innocence of like, I don't even like know, like it's just being like forced at you. So, you know, maybe there's something here that you can go back to your inner child and reclaim what is, you know, I must get like this like fear too. Maybe reclaim what feels right for your inner child in relation to the expressions of the female that you interact with so much, and your focus on that, and how your gaze is involved in that. Now, this position here is about any repressed emotion, and I feel as if there is something coming through that is saying, you know, I am actually a being that's very capable of expressing a lot of emotion, and that I'm not really acknowledged for that, and that this emotion sometimes isn't as fluid as we like to think of as emotion. Like this emotion can actually have a structure to it, a purpose to it. It can hold a different form than what we assume emotion is, and that you've never really been able to express male emotion because you perhaps have been told how to express that in a way that feels more feminine. Like you're told what emotion should look and think and feel and act like. And this is an honoring, I think, of your own personal truth and the necessity of using your emotion as part of the conversation, and, you know, always having that in the mix, giving it expression. Now we're going to move up here to some higher energies, like your higher self, that you can access this week. I'm definitely getting this feeling of kind of taking a time out and looking at things from a perspective, and looking at things from a perspective where you're trying to start to burn through the illusions, and like there's this like newness to it, you know, this new energy that maybe wants to burn through anything that feels old, and wants to light a new way, and isn't afraid to destroy what needs to be destroyed. This is a real intense card here. So I think, you know, I don't want to be too literal with this, but I mean, I am getting a big message here about just sexuality and lust and indulgence in this. And this is such a over the top expression of it. I mean, that's why it really gets into like lust. Very active, very powerful, very fast moving energy, very of the moment, and just you know, targeted to just be as profuse as it can, like in the now. Very, very potent. And I guess I would like to acknowledge that of, you know, the masculine and of the feminine, you know, this potency that we can bring to life. But this verges on consumption to me. And this is really for me, it's really expressing some sexual ills and the destruction of the feminine that has been overly consumed and, you know, devoured in a way, and has been shown a ton of aggression towards, just for, you know, momentary pleasure. Nothing long-term here about this type of activity. And I'm getting a hint that there is something that is being ignored as this, because this thing is almost being destroyed in the process. This being, like, this has been overconsumed and used so much that it can no longer survive, you know, that this is almost like a different type of female energies coming through that the masculine may not be aware of, that's going to replace this more commodified version of the female that the masculine may be interacting with. Oh, it's such a fury of activity. That is a really intense card. Okay, so I'm now going to kind of hope that these messages will come out here in how we can actually be in touch with them this week, how they will be expressed. So this position is holding the actual, like, vibe, sexual energy for the week that wants to come through. It looks like the masculine energy is being confronted for its power, and there is a sense that the older energy there is now being further reinforced by younger energies that, just for the sake of tradition, are reinforcing things as they've always been, as if there's no consciousness as to why this energy is in this power. And I do feel that there's something that has been silent and dismissed and never is really acknowledged that is starting to confront this masculine energy. And the masculine energy may be becoming quite reactionary to it and finding itself feeling defensive about the position that it holds, its power that it has. And this may be coming through on a level of, because this is in the energy, so this may be coming through as that at first, you know, it's sort of just being felt. But I definitely am getting that there seems to be a threat here, and that the vibes feel kind of like stubborn as far as what the masculine is holding in response to this. Now, looking here the psychology of what's going on, it does seem that it feels like there is like a really stormy atmosphere going on in this mental, emotional state of how we perceive reality, and that there is the beginning of trying to find a way through this to something more, to a higher truth in a way. And that seems really inaccessible, but there is like the beginning of acknowledging that whatever this is, whatever has been created, whatever is going on, there are arguments going on, and a lot of pain, that this is no longer worth it to you as the masculine. Like, you don't want to feel this way. You don't want to be in this confusion and have anger and storms around you. You actually want to go towards the higher truth. You want to embrace that. And you don't want to feel this way. And so it's like you're making the effort, and it's going to be very diligent effort to try to get there. Some of the hardest effort that you may have to exert right now to get towards this new beginning after this very difficult time. Now, the behavior that I see that you can really bring into this time period is allowing the feminine energy to be itself, and to not have to be like fully formed all the time, and not have to be in a way logical. Like, you're really getting more in touch with the power of this energy to just be itself, and that you can also have some of this energy within you to work with, and the sort of charm and simple beauty and truth and just goodness that feel like what just feels right, and what feels more progressive and higher minded, and have a better spirit and just a better quality of life altogether. It's like you are acknowledging that whatever is being defended here is not worth it, because it doesn't do anything for your headspace, for how you're feeling or anything. Like, you want to feel that life has a certain quality to it that you acknowledge that you can't necessarily bring as the masculine energy, that this is what the feminine does, and you like that, and you want more of that. So I really see this, just allowing in this, true effort to work towards something. And it's like you're almost able to take that energy that's programmed into you to have a purpose and a direction, and use that and pull yourself in the direction that you want to go. So let's look now at your crowning card, which is the masculine and the feminine in balance and union. And here we see a beautiful coming together. This energy, it feels like both parties are relaxed. You're seeing things eye to eye. No one is, standing over the other, trying to be more powerful than the other. There's a casualness here, a gentleness, a mutual respect even going on. And it looks like there is this, genuine commitment here to weather the ups and downs of life, and to acknowledge that life is going to have, what we would call good times and bad times, and that it's through this commitment to one another, through working with one another through the gifts that each one can bring to this reality, that life is like you're able to actually just live life like it needs to have this type of communion and partnership going on to even make it possible to traverse through. And of course we're getting like loyalty as well coming in here, so a loyalness to the energies of one another. Yay. Absolutely love that. So thank you to the universe for channeling these messages through me. I am very grateful, and I hope that you were able to get what you needed from this reading. I'm wishing you well, and please join me for any of the other readings I have on offer through my various playlists. Please take exceptional and superb care